What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, I want to give a thanks to one of my subscribers and longtime supporters on this channel, Prince Okeezy, for his donation to the channel. I want to thank you for your donation, and I hope you enjoy the content, man, that I put out. I hope everybody enjoys the content that I put out. I know you may not always agree with everything I say, but you know what I'm saying, I try to be fair. I don't think everybody has donated to my channel over the past several months since that option has been opened up on this channel due to the bullshit shenanigans of YouTube. Now, I got a request to do a video talking about the Philadelphia 76ers. Friday, I didn't get a chance to do it yesterday, but I am going to do it today now. I mean, what do I think about the Philadelphia 76ers? I think they're a pretty good team. They have a lot of talent. Okay, that cannot be argued. When they're playing and firing on all cylinders, playing at the absolute best of their ability, like they did on Christmas Day against Milwaukee Bucks, when they, pretty much ran the Bucks out the building, uh, made Giannis have the worst shooting game of his career. Uh, they could beat anybody when they're playing like that. The problem is they don't play like that all the time. They're a very inconsistent team. Uh, some nights Joel Embiid looks like arguably a top two big man in the league. Some nights he looks, you know what I'm trying to say. He can one night he can get you 49 and 14. The next night he'll give you 8 and 6. You don't know what Joel Embiid you're going to get. Um, Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has shown no improvement. Matter of fact, not even no improvement. Ben Simmons has not even shown a willingness to shoot a jumper consistently. Um, he's really shown no improvement overall in his game. In an open court situation, open court situation, he's brilliant. In a in a half court situation, which is what you're going to see more often in the playoffs, the limitations to Ben Simmons' game is what's going to hurt the Sixers in the long run. And also, what has to be mentioned, um, aside from the injuries that they have now, Ben Simmons with the back injury, the worst thing you can have is injury issues going into the playoffs rather than earlier on in the season. And then you can get a time to gel as a team and get healthy. Like what's possibly starting to happen with the Clippers. I'm going to tell y'all guys something, man. I know a lot of people ain't sold on the Clippers, but if this team is starting to gel now, March, going into the playoffs, they're going to be a problem. Okay, because you got to think about something here with the Clippers. This team has had a lot of injury issues, in particular to Paul George. And Kawhi has missed, like, what, 16, 17 games, I guess? I don't know. Lou Williams has missed games. Patrick Beverly has missed some games. All right? But yet, I think they have the third best record in the West. I think either that or they overtook the Denver Nuggets. Anyway, that's another video. The Sixers, they like other than injury issues, Joel Embiid, I think now he has a shoulder injury. Joel Embiid, man, I'm just not sold on him, man. First of all, I think Joel Embiid has conditioning issues. I've long heard about his fondness for food, and I'm not sitting up here talking bad about him. You know what I'm saying? I'm a dude that's big. Okay, so it'd be hypocritical of me to criticize him, and I'm like a big dude. But the difference between me and him is, when I was in athletics, I was able to discipline myself. I'm not saying pro. I'm just saying like you know, organized shit or whatever. When I was involved in athletics, I kept my weight down uh, because I knew that weight is detrimental to being an athlete. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you're a guy that has a tendency to put on weight, that I assume that Joel Embiid is. You can't sit up there and have all these fucking days of indulging in your foods. Like, if you're an athlete, it's fine to have one day out of the week and, you know, eat the shit you want to eat. But you can't do that shit every fucking day. It's just not going to work. And ultimately, it's also going to start. I think there's a link between eating badly and injuries in sports. I do. I definitely think there's a link. Maybe it's just me. Um, but there's an issue that, like I said, Jonah B has his shoulder injury now. They're just a team that I just have no confidence in, man. Their road record is ridiculous. This team should, at 37-23, this team should have at least 10 fewer losses than they have. You know what I'm saying? They should be like 47-13. They should be like not too far behind the Milwaukee Bucks. They miss Jimmy Butler. They really do miss Jimmy Butler. To have that guy that uh, can be that closer in the crunch time of games. They miss that having that type of guy. It's starting to be shown that Tobias Harris is not that type of player. He's a fine all around player, but he's not that type of player. Um, and I don't like Charles Barkley anymore, personally. Although he can still be funny, but I don't like him anymore. But one thing I will agree with when it comes to the Sixers is this team doesn't have any real leaders anymore. They don't have any leaders. The last leader they had was Jimmy Butler. And one thing that did come out last year, because Jimmy Butler was homeless. Jimmy Butler came from a hard place. Jimmy Butler had to work his ass off to get to where he is today. And I know this because I'm a Bulls fan. I remember when he was under Tom Thibodeau, how hard he had to fucking work to get into the rotation and get those minutes and to prove the type of player that he is. And he went from just being a guy known for his defense to being a guy that could score to being an elite scorer. So he worked hard on his game. So Jimmy Butler demands the same thing from other players. And if he doesn't see that, it's going to bother him. And that's something that he saw when he was playing in Minnesota, okay, with Wiggins, and I think to an even greater extent with Karl Anthony Towns. And I think that's something that he saw with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Okay, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are guys that are playing off of their talent, but sometimes talent can't get you all the way to where you need to go. You know, um, but I think leadership is a big problem with this team. And when you don't have that, okay, um, you're just not going to go far. You know, you're just not going to go far in the playoffs against the elite teams. So the Sixers, I don't see them going anywhere past the second round, in my opinion. Um, Maybe a favorable matchup, they might get to the conference, but I don't see this team beating not only Milwaukee, but I don't see them beating Boston at this point. I just don't. They're too inconsistent. And if I, like I said before, in the half court situation, what you tend to see more of in the playoffs, Ben Simmons is not as effective. He's just not willing to shoot. And until he's willing to improve his outside shot, it's always going to be an Achilles heel of this team. You know, um, one thing that gets on my nerves too is I hate when someone like Stephen A. Smith will say, whenever Joel Embiid starts to take it seriously and gets mad. What the fuck does that mean? Like, excuse me, like, what does that mean? Whenever he decides to get mad. Okay, if that's your hope for this team to make this run, this magical fucking run, fine, okay? If that's your hope for a magical Sixer run, for him to get mad, then you're gonna have a long wait because they've pretty much shown what they are. Okay, like at this point, the Sixers have shown you what they are. So basically, what they are is a team that is all talk, but when it really comes down to it, when they play the elite teams, they're little to no action. And I expect that tonight. I think the Clippers. I'm not saying that the Clippers are going to blow them out, but I just don't see the Sixers beating the Clippers tonight, barring an injury. Um, especially if neither Ben nor Joel Embiid play tonight. I don't think either one of them play tonight, if I'm not mistaken. So this should be a field day for the Clippers. So that's pretty much all I got to say, man. I think Philadelphia. I just don't see them going far. You know, Ben Simmons is more interested in extracurricular shit, for what I can understand. Joel Embiid, he's having a down year compared to last year. The fire's not there this year as opposed to last year. Um, Something's not quite right with that team. Um, you know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't been following the Sixers that closely, but I'm wondering if a coaching change needs to be made too. Sometimes a coach can run his course with a team and an organization. And I don't know whether they're starting to tune him out or anything, but that might be part of it. But tell me what you guys think.